If you're an interior designer with dreams of starting your own business, then get out now, please, I beg of you. Just kidding, let me start that over. If you're an interior designer with dreams of starting your own business, or you're an aspiring designer curious about how the hell you make money in a career like this, then stay tuned, because in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 2 major and essential ways that interior designers earn income. What's up, designers? My name is Kelsey. I'm an NCIDQ certified interior designer and the owner of 𝐂𝐿SY, a Manhattan-based interior design studio specializing in commercial spaces. My mission is to help other designers excel in their career while promoting transparency about the career and industry. Obviously, there are unlimited ways that you can make money as an interior designer in this world of the internet we now live in. Sound like an old geezer. Like selling digital products, courses, physical products, and I think that can be true really for any career and any person. So what I want to focus on in this video specifically are the 2 most common ways that designers, including myself, make money with a physical interior design services business. The first way that designers make money is through design fee. When I say design fee, I mean trading your time as a designer for money. Regardless of if you're spending time designing, presenting to clients, on-site coordinating construction, or drafting plans in AutoCAD, you're spending time performing work for a client, and you charge them for that time. Time for money. When charging design fees, there are 2 common ways that designers price out their services and their time. The first is hourly. This is where you either charge the client a lump sum upfront and do not exceed working the number of hours you pre-charge them for. Or if you're me, you reach those number of hours and you just keep working because they keep asking you to do more things, and then you just don't know how to say no. But we're gonna fix that. For example, let's say your hourly rate is $150 an hour. You charge the client upfront for $1,500, which is equivalent to 10 hours of work. You then perform work for the client, either designing or selecting finishes. Maybe you're acting as a design consultant and you're having phone and Zoom calls with them. You would stop working once you've reached that 10 hours. If you need more time, you would then charge the client again for however many more hours needed to complete the project, whatever that may be. You can also do the opposite. You can perform the work first and then send the client a bill for how many hours you worked afterwards, or on a pay schedule like every 2 weeks. For example, you're working on a project and you're keeping track of all the time and tasks you've spent working on that specific project, which you should be doing. If you're not doing that, please do that. Every 2 weeks, you would tally up the total number of hours you worked, multiply that by your hourly rate, and then send your client a bill for that amount. The differences between these 2 models of billing is that in the first one, you're receiving your payment up front before performing any work, which protects you from clients who may not be great at paying you on time. However, you're needing to guess how many hours it will take you to complete the project. It's sometimes like a shot in the dark if you don't actually know what the client wants, or the scope is a little hazy, or many other reasons. In the second model, you're performing the work first, which doesn't protect you from slow paying or non-paying clients, which they are out there. I also find that unless you're a very organized person, tracking your hours like a lawyer can seem tedious, and there's a chance you don't account for all the actual time spent. However, it's a better way to know that you are billing them for the correct amount of time versus just guessing and working. And I find that clients like to know how much they're going to spend up front for your services, because they have no idea if a task will take you 10 hours or 100 hours, and those are very different costs and timelines to them. The second way that you can price your design fee is a flat rate, and this is where you bill the client a one-time fee for performing the work needed, or whatever tasks they're hiring you for. Flat rate is the way that I typically price out my services for a number of reasons. Flat rate is more similar to the bill them first, work after pricing structure, and it's the way that I typically price out my services for a number of reasons. First, like I mentioned before, it helps the client see exactly how much money they're spending on your services. There are no surprises on their end. Second, it takes some of the pressure off of the designer to work quickly. I run anxious, and I often get anxious that I'm spending too much time on a certain task, and then I worry that the client will question how much time I've spent and maybe argue with me that it's taking longer than I should just to hike up their bill, which for the record has never happened to me, but you never know, it could. And there are those clients out there that will give you a hard time about it. With a flat rate, I feel much less pressure order to work as quickly as possible, which allows me to focus on the quality and really just creating something that my clients will be happy with. The downside to this model is similar to that upfront hourly model as well, which is that you are essentially guessing how many hours it will take you to complete a project. There are projects where I spend double or triple the amount of time that I build them for, and there are times where I way overestimate and spend half the actual time that I build them for. That's just kind of the nature of this business. It's like a dance, but I like to compare it to a general contractor bidding for a project. Just like you would send a project out to bid to multiple contractors, you'll usually get back a wide variety of costs and fees for their services because they're also just estimating the labor and time needed to build out the project. Just know that it takes time to get familiar with what that sweet spot is when pricing your services out, and it gets easier over time. I have noticed in the last couple of proposals that I've sent, I am pricing out more accurately how many hours something will take me. And I think a big thing with that was I was afraid to charge people, oh, I'm getting a little deep now, guys. I was afraid to charge people the amount of money or time that it would actually take me with fear that I wasn't gonna get the job. And yes, that's really important. You're gonna lowball in the beginning of your career, but I think now that I'm becoming more confident in myself, more confident in my pricing, more confident in my services, and I have more projects under my belt, I'm okay with telling them that something's actually gonna take me 50 hours. Even though they might not think it should take me 50 hours, based on my experience, it's gonna take me 50 hours to do that drawing set. I'd love to do a deeper dive video on pricing out design fees and how I do it and what I've learned. So if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, leave me a comment in the description box, or you can also leave me like compliments too, if you feel so inclined. The second major way that designers make money is through the purchasing process. One part of the interior design process is helping the client select and specify furniture, materials, lighting, accessories, and more. The selection of those items would fall under your design fee because you're spending time finding those products. But designers can also be the ones to physically purchase those items on behalf of the client and resell it to the client at a markup. This is a very common way that designers can not only earn money, but it sometimes becomes the majority of their income, depending on how large the project is and how high the client's purchasing budget is. From my perspective, you make a lot more money on the purchasing side when you're a residential designer because you are selecting higher ticket furniture items. Like a high-end residential client could purchase a $20,000 sofa. If you're making 20% on a $20,000 sofa, honey, you're golden. I mean, imagine all the other things in that home. I find on commercial projects, for whatever reason, designers just tend to make more on the fee end and less on the purchasing end. However, I feel like right now my income is about 50-50. I think it depends on the project, but I do typically handle all the purchasing for furniture, tile, lighting, and then any miscellaneous design things, like if we're doing acoustic panels, if we have a special design element, anything where I am bringing a manufacturer in or I specifically picked this product, but the contractor would earn from the purchasing on all of the architectural elements. Maybe, you know, they would do all the paint, the actual labor, maybe they would do the architectural lighting. If you're working with an architect also, it becomes that conversation of who's gonna do the purchasing for what. It gets a little political in terms of purchasing, but if you're just a solo designer, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff, but always keep in mind that purchasing is a big portion or can be a big portion of your revenue. The reason that designers have this income generating system is because as a trained design professional, we receive access to trade discounts on products. Let's take West Elm as an example. Anyone can walk into West Elm and buy a sofa for, let's say, $5,000. A designer, however, because they're a trade professional, can purchase that sofa for $3,500 and sell it back to their client for $5,000, earning them $1,500 on that transaction. The client is paying the same amount of money for the sofa, $5,000, but the designer is now earning extra income. That benefits the client, that they don't have to deal with all of the purchasing, the shipping, the delivery, none of that hassle. And the designer takes on those tasks, responsibilities, and liabilities if something were to go wrong or if there's an issue with the ordering. So it's not like it's extra income for doing no work. There's obviously still work involved in the purchasing process, but it can be a really huge payout for less physical time spent. Some designers work exactly like that, where they buy the item at the trade discount and they resell it at the original retail price. But some designers use their discount as an incentive to work with them, and they'll offer their clients small discounts. Like, hey, if you hire me, you can only spend $4,500 on this sofa instead of $5,000. So I make money and you save money. It's a win-win. There's a lot of back and forth opinions from designers on whether or not you should be giving away any of your trade discount, but I will save my breath on that debate for now. Let me know down in the comments if you have an opinion on that. I'll be making a more in-depth video about the purchasing process, so drop all of your purchasing questions down below as well if you have any. If you're looking for more educational interior design content, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to sign up for my email list down in the description box to receive even more designer insights. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!